Alright folks, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about Razor Ramon, the bad guy. Now he started his career in 1984 and he was wrestling for the National Wrestling Association. And then he went to go wrestle for Florida Championship Wrestling. And he also wrestled in the AWA. So then later on in his career, he signed a contract to go to the WWF. And he became Razor Ramon. And he did promos. There's one promo that he did where he's walking down the street and this guy's sitting in a fountain and he pushed the guy in the fountain and the guy's like, oh man, and then Razor Ramon goes, see, I make his wish come true. He's dreaming of a swim. So then later on that feud would go against Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret Hart was the WWF champion at the time. And Scott Hall had a match against Bret Hart for the WWF championship at the Royal Rumble. And Bret the Hitman Hart ended up winning that match. He ended up retaining the title. And Scott Hall would eventually win the Intercontinental Championship. Now, Shawn Michaels had the belt and he had some kind of injury, but he wouldn't give the Intercontinental title up. And Scott Hall was the Intercontinental champion. And Shawn Michaels kept claiming he was the true Intercontinental champ because he never lost it. He was never pinned for it. So then Shawn Michaels came back, and at WrestleMania 10 they had a ladder match for both Intercontinental titles. They were both hanging up above the ring, and it was a pretty grueling match. So Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, climbed up the ladder and grabbed both belts. And he became the Intercontinental Champion. So later on a Superstars of Wrestling show, Scott Hall would lose the Intercontinental title to Diesel. Now, Diesel was Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash was Shawn Michaels' bodyguard at the time. Shawn Michaels helped Diesel win the ICE Intercontinental title. And then he would win the Intercontinental belt back, and he had a feud with Goldust. And then he lost the title to Goldust. Goldust beat Razor Ramon for the Intercontinental Championship. So then Scott Hall and Diesel's contract were coming up for renewal. And Diesel was the World Wrestling Federation champion at one point, but we'll get that into another video. So his contract was coming up with the WWF, and so was Big Daddy Cool Diesel. And so they went to WCW. Now, Scott Hall came out like as an invader. And he came out on Nitro, and people didn't know why he was there. They did a very good job at, not knowing. Like, they're like, what the heck is he doing here? Why is he here? Scott Hall goes, you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. And then he's like, this is where the big boys play, huh? And then he's like, you'll find out why I'm here. Or something. So then the next week came. And Scott Hall and Kevin Nash came and they were talking to Eric Bischoff. And it was like the beginning of the Outsiders, which eventually would become the NWO. Now, Scott Hall would use his real name in WCW as Scott Hall. He didn't use a fake name or anything. He wrestled as Scott Hall. Only thing about Scott Hall was eventually, somewhere down the line, he had a drinking problem. And he drank a lot of alcohol. And he would show up to the arenas drunk at times. And there are times Eric Bischoff wouldn't let him come on TV because he was drunk. And eventually when WCW went out of business, he just left the scene. You didn't see him in wrestling for a while. You didn't see him at all, actually, in wrestling. Because he just left. And then 2023, last year, Scott Hall passed away. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. And if you like Rockstar Band, subscribe to Flash Gordon, Rockstar. Thank you. Have a great day.